Window cleaners out cleaning the windows. Oh, the window cleaners are out cleaning windows. Where has Colin, our window cleaner, gone? So we know when I come on every day, the talk revolves around the safety of children and the unalienable or unalienable rights of parents to be with their children, and the current undertaking of suing Poland. Poland at this moment is supporting child abuse, and this has just been ongoing. But my son and daughter need to know me and see me. God, I miss them so much, Ava and Matthew. And if anyone's got any children, you know what I'm speaking about. If you've loved anyone and they've been taken out your life, you must know what I mean. But today I'm going to be speaking about dumbing down society. What methods, what's the methodology that's been used for dumbing down our society? So we need to take a quick look round about us and see where we spend most of our time, because our minds are so foggy or downright broken, you can't get an adult conversation from 90% of adults. You're lucky to get head shakes and agreeable actions and dull muted noises. Ugh. Now what you can see right now, there's a lot of cars made from, in the last 10 years, my own car is 30-year-old, around about 30-year-old, and it's off the road at the moment. I can't afford insurance, and I cannot afford to fix the turbo, but my neighbour does need me to move it. So if anyone is round about the Glasgow Paisley area and can fix a Volvo C30, give me a shout. But what we're seeing is these driving antennas, these super duper up to date motors of the last 10 years. You're driving about in a tablet that has wheels. It's just a tablet that has wheels, and you're sitting in the very centre of that tablet that has wheels. You're sitting inside a compact computer with wheels on it. You're a driving LTE cell tower. You are a driving cell tower. And if you spend 5 or 10 minutes in that car, you will step back out with brain fog. There's an 04 TT. I used to love Audi TTs when I was young. That's why I would hire them in Australia, pretending to be cool. And I had to pretend to be cool. I mean, I think most of us do have to pretend to be cool, because we've been so dumbed down. Whatever we think cool is, I'm sure it's not very cool. It's great to be awake at this time and still have not seen any sign of the sun. But the sun causes cancer, doesn't it? I mean, sitting in that car in the centre of a buzzing laptop. You're actually sitting within your own apps, your applications. So I would get into your settings on your car and try and disable most of this stuff. But I know many of you are in there with your earbuds on, and this electromagnetic poisoning, and that's what it is, it's electromagnetic poisoning, it's crystallising the inside of your body. Hey! When it's death by 1,000,000 cuts or 1,000 cuts, we don't really notice. In fact, we usually support the propaganda machine which pushes us into the direction we've been pushed in as child abuse is fun. MTV isn't filled with warlocks and witches. Crazy, crazy people. You know these people are crazy, murderous types. You know that. You know anyone on mainstream anything has sacrificed, has sold their soul. And we're pushing our younger generations into this, but they're not going to have a mind to do it. Because step inside mummy's car. Oh, mummy's got an up-to-date car. If you're a predator, support is easy for you to get. Because this is a toxic environment. Toxic. We want it to be as toxic as possible for the new generation coming through, so we can control them easier than the last. Because those born in the late 70s, 80s, and possibly even early 90s, with some recollection of what it was like before these naughties come in, we need you. We need you to remember who you are, what you were allowed to do, because those inalienable rights, you still have them. And you're giving them away, as you're giving every brain cell in your head away, as you're giving every bit of instinct in your gut through dodgy food away. And that number 2 brain I mentioned is your number 1 brain. It's your number 1 brain. Your head's easily tricked. It's easily tricked into eating poisonous food. Your brain says this tastes nice and it's going to do the right job, and that's not. That's the additives been added by the witches and warlocks to confuse your mind and to accept the poison into your system. And believe me, you're doing it every day, poisoning yourself. And it's because of the toxic environment. You don't need to spot an antenna or 5G site these days, because one's just driving past right now. There's one there's a 5G website, there's an LTE. And this is what's making us sick. We're sitting in a microwave oven, and there are microwaves inside these cars. They are destroying your blood, they're boiling your blood. They're making you confused. They're always poisoning the system because they, the hierarchy enslaving you, they want to break the blood-brain barrier, because that's how they kill you. And they do it with food, and they do it from everything you use in your household, or the most common things you use. That's why they're called the most common things, because they're poisonous. Yes, and we have lots of unsuspecting celebrities who wear these AirPods and go in these special wee cars and pull the wool over your eyes, because if they're doing it, you'll do it. But they get paid multi-million-dollar contracts for doing these things. And as we see these new type cars every day driving around, and people having foggier brains and foggier minds because they're driving around in a laptop with wheels while poisoning themselves. And we're asking, What's happening in society? We're all dumbed down. We can't even walk properly. Old men and women, once the fabric and knowledge of society, people that you could turn to, are being dragged off our streets, thrown in the old folks' home and poisoned to death, and have been, as long as I've been breathing, but since 2019, if you've not noticed. Get rid of the old world, and that means killing off the people with the decent brains that won't take in the absolute nonsense. And there's another thing there. Old world tech, St Andrews. Now, if it was a clear day, you would tend to see like a line coming off the top of the spire. And from the top of the spire it would look as if energy is shooting into the air. And you get this with a lot of these old churches. Because these buildings were for healing bodies, using sounds and somatics. Because that's how our entire system are made up. That's what controls the world. It's sound. And we like to make up anything that, for these smart scientists to tell us what is the truth and how things work. They're talking nonsense. Smart scientists are not very smart. A bit like your smart cars. They're poisoning you with shady information. And if you listen and you believe it's good, you're going to end up giving away your nice old-fashioned stainless steel skillet pan for one of these cancer-causing non-stick numbers. Do you remember that? They've done it in every decade with every single thing, and they've replaced them with toxicity. I'm not saying things were better in the past and we cared about people in the past. We've never cared. We've always had predators. We've always had people that sound as if they care, but would steal an infant child out the pram that you're pushing and use that to cause fear in your life. We still do that. Take children out of their parents' lives. And then we gaslight the parent and blame them for abusing the child. And if they could only pay more money, the child would face less abuse. If you were only a millionaire, your children would face less abuse. But you're too busy poisoning yourself inside, driving around in your new fancy cell tower. With a boot and voo. Oh, look at my wee sticker on the front of my boot and voo. Nazis, a lot of you fascist pigs, poisoning our beautiful children and new generation, while the old generation's being murdered. And what's left, the rest of this nonsense that's left, is so soaked up in the atmosphere of bullshit that we can't even think for ourselves or do anything right. We can't save our own children when fathers and mothers are reaching out going, look, right in this place here, children are being abused. Adults ignore it. Children are being abused here, in this town, in this city, by this church, and this family, in this community. Here's the names of the people. We ignore child abuse. Because we drive around in cars which are poisoning us. We sit in houses filled with electromagnetic, and we wonder why we're getting dumber. Cancers are spreading through children. Crazy quick. Sex, lies and videotapes. If there's been a decent person, a decent celebrity ever, they've been murdered early, and they've always been made to look bad in the parts they've been given. If anyone's a nasty, low-life, scumbag, child-abusing prick, they're highlighted as being the good guy. Always have done. That's what we're doing with women that abuse children right now. Like these Polish mothers abusing children. Yeah, they've been beaten in court and everything else, but who cares about women being beaten in court? We can keep supporting them because the children are going to be screwed in the head. Not only for everything else screwing your head up right now, but they'll be so screwed in the head, they won't be able to think for themselves. They'll never know they had a parent. In fact, whatever they think a parent is, it's not what we believe parents to be right now. And even that's slipped in standards. Standards? Something we don't bloody have. And this is the old woman's motor. There's nothing too fancy about this old car, but it works the same as all the rest. Now, when my dad died of cancer, within a 6-week period, when my dad died at age 64, just turned 64, my mum was promised, because she was disabled. Most of her life she's been disabled. She was made disabled by the same people try to disable you and your children today. She was made disabled. She actually had a double mastectomy. Yeah. Imagine waking up as a young 30-year-old girl and mistakenly some surgeon just whipped off both of your breasts. I've never had good thoughts on our NHS, our system, any of the hierarchy. Since the age of 17, I've been chasing after these beasts, predators that are poisoning us, because they poisoned my mum. My mum was offered the first set of breast implants on the NHS. Wow! She was offered breast implants after 10, 15 years of disfigurement and being called Frankenstein. My mum's a strong woman though. But as I said, she used to have a disability card, but when my dad died, she got fitter and healthier through her diet. And it's difficult to do, to change and be in control of your diet, but right now, most of you are turning yourself into antennas. So to go along with your poisonous car and the poisonous lifestyle and these earbuds and everything else that surround you with their electromagnetic currents, their millihertz, and the millihertz is what makes you sick. Millihertz, all of these, if you know of Raymond Rife and you know of the Rife machine, you know this man was helping all sick people with frequencies when he was young. And Sean Connery, it's a few days about that. Thank you very much, mate. Sean Connery is obviously a top predator and had his own days where he was the scumbag, but he looked like a right nice man from Scotland, like me. I'm not nice. But the thing is, I'm nice enough to have contact with children, with loving people. And what runs this place is not loving people, it's people who abuse children. I'm sorry. I'm a kidnapping to be your sound alike, but that's nice. I'm a kidnapping to be your sound alike. Okay, my friend. Okay, Mikey boy. I'm trying to say I am Canadian. Oh man, I love Canadians, man. Ugh. An honest bunch, you know. It's like maybe one of the most honest actors is Canadian. Well, this what's his name? What's his name? The Rubber Lips. You know who I mean? Rubber Lips. They done like, the Green Man and everything else. What's his name? Anyway, the super famous man. I'm sure he was targeted by the predatory Hollywood types. Set up, made to look like a bit of a lowlife. Smoke the weed, sir. Smoke the weed, sir. What needs to happen if you're taking pharmaceutical drugs? Is that what you've said would be a better option? But you need to be careful of your mind. I'm talking about having foggy and dumbed down mind, and smoking too much weed does that. I'm aware of that because I've done that. So you need to be in control where you're going to bed in a state where you can have dreams, because it also stops you from dreaming, and you want to keep your dreams because your dreams are actually the best part of your day right now. And if you're smoking too much, then you're going to lose them. Now, to carry on, every part of the story I'm telling you is what they're pushing to take out of your life and to put into your life is only going to make your life worse than what it is right now. It's going to make your life more toxic than what it is right now. We've got 20 and 30-year-olds that are getting all types of cancers, that are feeling sluggish as if they're in their 60s, you know? I'm not saying I'm any better for my age. I mean, I'm 47 years old and my hair looks as if it's about 92. But I've always had grey hair coming through. My entire family, all the women in my family, my granny and my mum and all my aunties have all got white hair, you know. My papa had jet black hair. My dad had jet black hair. But all the men in my family died before the age 64. So I'm just trying to give myself some extra time. So the colour of my hair means I'm going to live longer. You look 74. Thanks very much. Sometimes I look 94. Sometimes I feel 108. But I'm still here. I still care about you. I still work every day to try and give fathers and mothers the same rights so they get to have time, if they're safe and loving parents, to be with their children. Now, if there's any mothers or fathers out there that gets to spend time with their children and they appreciate and love the time they spend with their children, please hit that like button. Please comment that fathers are parents too. Because it's a very simple thing to do, remove a good man from someone's life. It's tough out here. It's tough if you join in with what everyone else is doing. It's tough if you continually break down your own mind. If you keep accepting what they're giving you while they tell you how good it is, you'll find out later how toxic it was. I look and see the Americans from the 90s and hanging around with sort of wealthier friends. Like I had a cousin that was wealthier, Craig, who's dead now, but used to always do trips to the States and used to always go on holiday. I didn't get to go on any holidays as a child apart from to local places in Scotland, or we would go across to Dublin and see our family in Ireland. And that was our holidays. It was never longer than, or a further distance than Dublin. There's the bells ringing. I miss my son and daughter. I want to pick them up and give my son and daughter a hug. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there's over 800 videos. They're amazing. I mean, they're so well edited. The script is amazing. But the only script that people know about here is want to pick up their drugs that the doctor gives. Let's see. Keep this energy when you're spewing hate towards sons and daughters who are inside hotels running from war. No, it's not about the sons and daughters. It's about putting the people of any country as second-class citizens, while those from outside, the outsiders, are treated like stars. We have got people who have been in all parts of the army They've stood up for our country. They've stood up and fought for our people. And they're not being assisted. So your idiotic leftist writing just shows you to be the predator. As I said, you would never be any type of safety for children. You're a predator. Let's see. You emotional little bigot. You emotional little bigot. Why am I being emotional? What makes you think that? Bigot? Why am I being? What makes you say I'm being bigoted? Because that's the last thing. I mean, you're being bigoted right now. You're actually starting a fight towards me as a father who started a channel to help parents in a position where children are being abused. So you're actually assisting the child abusers. You're a complete scumbag. And you know, if you were in front of me, you would curl up into a ball. Good morning from Belfast. Good morning. Good morning, Belfast. We do have some child abusing lowlife scumbags on here. Serial hill killer. He has popped on in the past. I don't put him down because he's a little policeman with no head, no brain. He's got those iPods in, killing off the last of his few brain cells, and then he's going to eat some food with plastic. That plastic and metal in there turns him into an antenna, and we know he's a little rod as it is. He's a little brain-dead, child-abusing, backwards, no-friended knobhead. And what's he going to say? We have parliamentary procedures in this country. If you were innocent, you'd have caught. It's not in this country, you brain-dead lowlife. It's in a fascist regime, and we don't have parliamentary conduct in this country. What we've got is predators running it. There's paedophiles running this country, and you're obviously one. You protect child abusers every day. You come on and badmouth mothers and fathers that protect children. You monster. You little rat. If Serial Hill Killer was here, there'd be a probably gang of people to burn this lowlife. You're more than likely AI, you little piece of rat poo. Scumbag. You're a policeman, aren't you? I'm smiling, you're crying. I'm smiling, you are crying. Life is great. No, I am here to assist in the life of abused children as you belittle fathers and mothers who protect them. Do you support Tommy Robinson? I don't support anyone in mainstream. Anyone in mainstream has been bought. Now, Tommy Robinson isn't Tommy Robinson. His name's Lennon. Yaxley Lennon. And his name isn't Tommy Robinson. That is just his actor's name. It's another person. It's a side script. It's not him. It's his side hustle. And it's to fool you. And it comes from, he was the hated guy, now he's the loved guy, then he'll be a hated guy again. He's just like a serial hill killer. He's got no friends or family. He has no platform and has no place of his own. He's got nothing exciting or anything going on in his life. He can only try and interrupt others. And I do that myself, like this little serial hill killer. I would prefer Serial Hill Killer to try and put something into his own life where he feels decent and has something, rather than try to belittle people to feel better. And he belittles fathers and mothers and children. So we know that this little scumbag creep, I keep this guy on his toes, he loves me really. No, this is a policeman. He's a parasite. He belittles children. You would never trust this man. Matthew Del Monaco, smile. Laugh out loud. Billy Bear Ham is a funny name. Yeah, there's probably a good few of these police officers. I mean, they get paid so little. That's why like street cleaners get paid more. So they come on and they use a list of things to upset fathers who have seen children be abused, because this is the predator that abuses. He punches, nips and hurts children like my ex-partner did. He does it out of you so I can see and other people don't, while your child will start crying. This is what police do. This is what the police do. Police are paid in this country. You talk about the parliament, everyone in that parliament are dogs. Yes, I mean, look, it's like, oh no, she's committed £1 million fraud. Oh, she's going to chuck her own job and we're going to pay her another pension. Cops these days are a joke. You're very, very right. 27 grand. They're coming on here and they're paid money to come on and attempt to get fat, because fathers are taking their lives, especially fathers who have their children taken away, are taking their lives at an awful rate. So they put little policemen on here to try and get a reaction, because firstly, they've got no friends in their own life. The police officers that they work with despise them, and they themselves don't actually have a good brain, good family, and they're filled full of toxicity. And we've seen that happen with all our forces worldwide, where it's the lowest of forms of life that they're bringing in. And these are child abusing rapists. You've got a little terrible habit of talking absolute bollocks. Well, I mean, I set up this entire YouTube channel so I could do exactly that. And you, on the other hand, you don't have any purpose. You've got no reason other than to allow yourself to belittle fathers. And you don't have the ability, you don't have the brains, and you don't have the instinct, because you're one of those foggy brain people that may drive around in one of these cars made out of a laptop with wheels, and all you're doing every day is belittling family. You belittle the family values. It's because you're not a man. You're not a man. Now, mothers stick up for good fathers, because any parent sticks up for children, and I see this place is awash with predatory child abusers. I see that, and it really is quite sad. It's sad to see that we actually have got rid of so many good people that the predators come on so often. Serial hill killer is a parasite. I've not blocked this clearly brain dead, abusive, friendless little animal. And he comes on here each day and he's not been blocked once. And he will try to seem smart, because he can sit down and he doesn't have to give anything from the top of his head, because what's in the top of his head is not worth anyone listening to. He's more than a trope. Well done, my friend. He is. You're getting bored, but you're still here. I'm trying to get the message over, but I do see this guy floating up from time to time. I'm just some Polish guy. You're not Polish. If you were Polish, you would be able to write Polish and I could speak to you in Polish, but you're not Polish. You're a child-abusing parasite that's protecting a Polish woman that abuses children, a court-documented child abuser. I mean, the last thing a father will do will go in and let them know that they lived with a violent woman that beat them up. Because when you do that in Poland, the police laugh at you. Like let's see. Those that are awake can see what's happening to our country. You're right. You are speaking the truth. So I appreciate it. It's the destruction of family values. It's the destruction of children. It's taking away fathers. Fathers are the head of the family. Great mothers is what is needed. Hi, from Scotland. I'm in Glasgow right now. I'm just outside Paisley. East Renfrewshire, Barhead. If anyone wants to come along and speak live and speak to me and hang out with me, come along. All he does is talk about Poland and hotels. I speak about Poland because my children were abducted to Poland. Now, this serial hill killer, my children were assisted in the abduction. They were abducted by my ex-partner who called me a rapist. I was called a rapist. Now, I have lost all... I lost my position, I lost my business, I've lost my paid off mortgage-free home. I mean, look at what he's writing. He uses profanity constantly on someone else's channel, and this is the police. I mean, this is the type of scumbag which you would never ever leave a child with, never. And you see, now you've got everyone in the comments, serial hill killer. They know that you're a parasite. They know that you're no one's buddy. They know that you don't have a brain in your head. They know that you're a child-abusing parasite that protects Polish, Catholic, child-abusing paedophiles. Now, I complain about Poland because Poland itself has made movies about the paedophiles it protects. Poland, if you live in Poland, you can see a little parasite like serial hill killer protects child-abusing women. My children would have been abused as I was being physically assaulted by a Polish woman. Now, the
Domestic Abuse Investigation Unit assisted child abuse in Scotland and the UK. The Domestic Abuse Investigation Unit assisted the abduction and alienation of children in this country. That's why I hate little parasites like this that wouldn't protect a child. Now, I can see every one of those people on here hate the serial hill killer. I mean, it's so obvious, like, he is a scumbag. Thanks very much. I mean, we are getting support, but at the same time, the serial hill killer, if anyone wants to protect a child abuser, you can say that you're protecting the serial hill killer now. Now, people hate child abusing scumbags like the serial hill killer because they protect the woman abusing and punching and beating up family, taking away and taking the power out of family. The UK is draining the power from mothers and fathers. The US, Australia and Canada and New Zealand is draining the power that mothers and fathers have because little parasites like serial hill killer want to come into your house and take your children away. And then they want to use that against you to belittle you when your children aren't there, so you commit suicide. Now, little rats, and he is a little neglected rat, serial hill killer, all the comments are buzzing through because they can see that you're a wanker. You're a little rat. Now, when you're having me bring up profanity in my head, I'm always in control of what I say. But it must go to show that you are the lowest piece of scum that's ever been in YouTube. And YouTube is pretty much invented by scum for scum. Now, what the decent men and women and mothers and fathers, people that stand up for their country and children, that's who's on here, serial hill killer. Men and women who stand up for their children and families and countries are on here. Now, you need to know, serial hill killer, you are not in control of anything or anyone on this. Every other person on here can see what you are. A scumbag who would never be trusted with family, with children, or with the rights of a woman that needs to feel safe. You would never be trusted with children that needs looking after, and you'd never ever be given any position of trust. You're given within the scumbag regime, you're given a position that might be able to propel you so you can come on here and belittle fathers. You don't want fathers and children having relationships. You don't want good mothers. And every time I say that, I know a great mother from Gorzów Wielkopolski who has a child, her young son taken away from her. A mother has her young son because of a little parasite like you. He's a little policeman. His mum is in the Catholic Church and he gets to have the child. He's got a 21-year-old girlfriend as a 45-year-old man. And the 35-year-old mothers brushed aside in Poland because little lowlives like serial hill killer put parents in a position where they don't get to see their children. Little rats like serial hill killer. Now, fathers and mothers and children must have time together, which means we need to get rid of parasites like serial hill killer. Every mother, every father, every child that are safe and loving and have a family must be kept together. The money must be invested in family, not these criminals coming into our country, destroying our great hotels. Our hotels are for the good people coming in and paying for them, for the people that we invite into this country, not for criminals coming into this country illegally, being supported by the liberal left wing. And these people are never bringing children. They're never saving the mothers. So are they left in the war-torn country? The children and the women are left in the war-torn country while we bring over the fighting age young men? You serial hill killer, you little backwards reject. Everyone now knows. Oh, we can see it. We know exactly what you are, serial hill killer. And that's nothing of any good. Now, getting back to the point. Fathers are parents too. Children deserve to know both parents. Any safe, loving parent. Now, coming across so many times people that want to separate family, it gets to me. I mean, it blows my mind how people want to come on and belittle fathers, mothers, or children. But there's a man every day that will come on here and do that. And I know there's men in this world that abuse kids. And if that doesn't put a lump and a bit of sickness in your throat, there's something wrong with you. There's people in here on this chat being so backwards that they are willing to keep children in a dangerous position. And that's a normal thing for people to do. Keep children in it, feeling fear. Now, you have brain fog right now because of the driving antenna, because of the 5G, because of the plastic in our food, because of the metal in our food. That's going to our frontal lobe. They're trying to break the blood-brain barrier through all of this dodgy food that we're eating. I mean, I know 25, 30-year-olds with foggy minds who are unfit bodies, and they don't want to work out or change what they have to make it better. And these are young kids, man. But on the other hand, I'm seeing 25 to 30-year-olds that have got such great minds, but they're not. These are people that have lived away from this toxic environment. I'm frightened for my children every day because I know the women that has them. I know the women that hold them hostage. I know Botox and having plastic in their faces is more important than what the children want. I know getting rid of that wrinkle there is more important to them than having a father for the child in their life. And there's people that support that. There's people on here that still support that. Saver. My children are crazy like me. We just want to laugh and love.
I love so much. And love me. I'm happy to be crazy.
Everyone thinks I'm crazy, but I've got a feeling deep inside.
Matthew, Ava, some of these people care about you. Some of these people don't care a shit about you. But the police holding you do not care if you live or die. Parents must stick together. Parents must stick together. And if you're abusing children, you're going to face hell in your next life.
Listen, I'm just trying to find
Parasites.
That's all.
And no, that's not a nurse going in. That's my cousin. She loves me. Although sometimes she likes to say that she doesn't. She super loves me. That's Rona. She's a hairdresser. She works in a school. She's got 100 part-time jobs. I'm not allowed to work. I am stopped and prohibited from working. Prohibited from working in this country. Preach. Children need their parents. But tomorrow I know I'm going to wake up and I'm not going to get to see my children. I'm going to get to wake up and know they're not safe. I'm not going to get to know how they feel. But people on here will be able to come on and belittle this father when he sticks a smile in his face, walks down the road and tries to give people information that I know that you're suffering too. I know that there's something in your life that you're just struggling to cope with. I scream because I am never heard. I scream because I want to be heard. But when you scream, that's not the way to be heard. But the sound itself is what builds this reality. The semantics is what has made this. And I would love it to be positive screaming and singing and dancing, because that's who we are. That's what we were created to do. To love, to care for one another, not to hurt children. I mean, we're not supposed to be abusing children. You know that, surely. Well, that doesn't happen.
Buy any of these dodgy cars. Move back to an old diesel. Move back to an old petrol number. You're going to want one in the next 5 years. Fathers are parents too. It's about time we get treated as parents. It's about time Gorzów Wielkopolski in Poland, like I know the parents that support me there. It'd be nice if the English school that I used to teach in would teach the kids. Because if I went back to the Polish English school, I would possibly be allowed to go and work there when I can't work here. The English school would let me work, but I can't work a job in the UK. But I would be attacked by the prosecutors, by our friends in the church, by our friends in work, by our friends in the police. I had the police coming to me most days. The police were coming to my house most days in Poland. I was held down and electronically tagged in Poland. Anything that could go wrong in Poland did go wrong for my children. They were abused every day and they still are to this day. They don't get to know their father in Poland.
Bye-bye, see you later.
But what you do get in this place, if you're a woman, you can get almost any job in the world. You can do 100 different jobs and be paid 1,000 different times, and all you need to do is wear a purple front wee vest or a white vest and walk about the streets. Doesn't matter if you're Indian, African, Asian. Doesn't even matter if you're Scottish and your accent is a bit Sean Connery like mine. We've got maybe 15 young girls walking about called nurses. And they go to people's homes like my mum. And they sit there for 15 minutes and that's it. They don't do anything. There's no men that ever do a job like this. No men get a job or offered jobs like this. We don't get to do what the women do in our society. And the sick thing is, I can't even go and get a door-to-door sales job. I mean, I'm an old man, you know. I need to be out walking the streets. But I was given a job by Scottish Power to go door to door. And I know you're probably thinking, what would anybody want that crappy job for? Why would anybody want to go and do that job? I used to do that same job with Energy Australia, and I made $1 million salary by teaching people how to go and talk and go door to door in Australia. And they had to go with this accent if they didn't speak English. This was the Englishman that taught them. My business was called Pace International 2. I worked with an American man from Boston called Mike. He looked like Buzz Lightyear, and I love Mike. Mike was a smart man, patient man. His boss was Paul Burkett. And we all made tons of money in Australia by doing these sales jobs, by teaching people to go door to door. But in Scotland, I'm not allowed to get a door to door sales job. What? Surely criminals can even get that. Not if you're a father that's been called a rapist or lowlife or scumbag or something like that. Then you get called lazy. You get called a lowlife. But this lowlife used to own his own home, outright, mortgage free, fully paid. And while I was going through the child abduction court case,
which was the Hague 1980 child abduction court case in Gorzów-Wielkopolski Family Court, Sound in Poland, with judges like Agnieszka Blanc, who sat through most of that and done nothing but hate on fathers, and foreign fathers especially. She kept me apart from my children as often as she could, the same way as every prosecutor and friend of this Polish family do. If you're foreign and a father and you're in Poland, you're nothing. But you're nothing as a father anywhere in this world, in the Western world. You've been wiped out as fathers. We want weak, vulnerable mothers to sell out the good, strong father. We want the weak, vulnerable mother to pretend she's a strong, caring mother. And that's what's going on. We love people that pretend to be strong and caring. Any caring person you see in Hollywood is the most vicious person. Elon Musk himself says he loves the most vicious, hateful, abusive person that can carry it off and no one can see because they think he's a good guy. I might be paraphrasing a wee bit there, but I'm not good in words or quotes. Even Matthew, I know people from Poland and Gorzów will hear about this. I know you'll get to make your opinion of me, but right now you're forced into hating me. Like, it seems like everyone can give hate speech. Even when you're not given hate yourself and you're having to come back on your own channel to respond to hate. It kind of tells us that this world is not filled with love. Although each and every one of us is filled with not just surface level love, but an abundant love. And you see this in children. Children just love everything. They want to know about the next thing going on. And when children live in fear and don't have that safety blanket and don't have that father that loves them and cares and will stand by them in any situation, and they have this state who will poison them, who will give them drugs and break their mind, who will shut down their home and tell them they can't leave, who will stop them from travelling and stop any common sense to prevail for years upon years upon years. I mean, think any children born in the end of 2019, December 2019, right up until the age of 3 or 4. We've mind screwed our children. I mean, not just the fact that we're poisoning them daily. What, go and buy a Starbucks drink right now. Go and buy, if you've got a Starbucks drink, go and get that drink. Now pour it through a sieve, wash it out, and you see the amount of plastic and metal you'll find in that. And do that with most canned food or big businesses. They're poisoning you. They want to break the blood-brain barrier in your head. That's the whole reason for the preservatives and additives in food, is to break the blood-brain barrier so they can kill you, so they can control you, so you... And I get that all the time. I get called an idiot, get called a fool. I mean, the kind of things. And it does look like the police have stopped people from commenting on this. It does look like it's been kind of controlled at this moment, because my entire YouTube channel and all of my YouTube channels in the past have all been controlled. They've all been shut down when I get the information out. When the information passes about the Catholic Church, the prosecutors, the judges in Poland, all of these been connected within the Jana Pawła II in Gorzów-Wielkopolski in a place called Gorchin. When I get the message out about these named prosecutors like Krzysztof Rudzinski, prosecutor Catherine, these prosecutors that they committed fraud. They committed fraud and they were working with a judge who commit fraud in the court called Judge Marek Wieczór. Like, it's the opposite from my name, Joe Day. His name is Marek Wieczór, Marek nighttime or Marek evening, day and evening. Now this opposite from me tried to throw me in a prison cell, but I made sure that I wouldn't step into his wee ship with a dodgy prosecutor in. And this is what they're trying to do. Any good man, any good mother, any decent family, they want to break you up. I do feel worthless. I do want to end this nonsense. My own beliefs stop that. What does your own beliefs do? We need to get time with our children. We need to get time with Ava and Matthew. It's not right to be doing any of this, to be ignoring the right of children. There's police on here disrupting the lives of people in their local area. Police on here that want fathers to top themselves. There's fathers on here that belittle other parents. And I'm no different. I'm not belittling my ex-partner. I'm telling you the criminals in society, or the criminals hurting children, or the criminal willing to hurt family and children, they're being supported. I've got another 13, 14 hours of being awake and coping with this nonsense that we call life. And on a day like this, where you get no one, I'd recommend reading the Bible, praying, and asking for forgiveness. Getting into my mum's lungs, it's like stepping inside my mum's body. The same way as you step inside the car, you're stepping inside a laptop and you're poisoning your body, poisoning your mind. At least you don't have that keeping you alive. So when someone's put preach on here, it shut down the comments about 10 minutes ago. The serial hill killer was found out to be a Glasgow Govan policeman. And when these police are funded in your area to belittle and break up the family, parents have to stick together because children deserve to have safe, loving parents. Have a nice day.